Alright guys, so we are back at it. Obviously this piece right here, this windowsill, been chewed up and banged up, so that needs to get replaced. What she's wanting, and I'm not sure I can do it, but I'm going to try. She wants this windowsill to come out far enough for her to like set small plants on and stuff. So once I get the actual trim pieces off, I'll see what it's going to take to get these off without doing too much damage. And then we'll look at what it's going to take to get one to fit in here like we want it to, but comes off 6 or 8 inches. Alright guys, so this is just a cheap little piece of windowsill, but I don't want to damage any of these in here, these corners. I want to leave those intact because that's going to be my template for the new windowsill to fit into here. Alright. Alright guys, so there is a small obstacle to us putting a large windowsill here that I'm gonna rearrange the camera so you can see what I'm talking about a little clearer. These used to be wooden windows. So we took the sashes out of the wooden windows, left the framing in place for the wooden windows, and put these vinyl window inserts, replacement windows that were built specifically to go in where wooden windows were. There's a 2x4 right here that the wooden window sat on. So I have this piece of wood plus a 2x4. So when I go to put my windowsill in, it's going to sit on top of this. So I'm going to use 3-inch long screws at an angle coming in this direction so that they go into this, or go all the way through this piece right here and down into that 2x4. This top surface is sloping down towards the outside of the house, which is perfectly normal. I mean, this is the watershed thing. Water can't run uphill. But the windowsill has a matching angle cut into it. So that's going to be step one. We're going to have to find that angle and cut that angle on anything we want to mount on that. Otherwise, it'll prop this thing up as soon as we go to cinch it down. Actually, let me get it tighter. There we go. So that's almost dead on 11 degrees. So I get within 1 degree of that and I'm happy. Alright, I think that's going to work. And so I took it up there and set it up there, and that's where the actual window frame stops, is at that line right there. So there's a gap, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave that gap there. There's going to be a piece of trim under it anyway. So we are going to move forward. Alright guys, so I have the crosscut sled on the table saw. I'm going to cut these to length. This one has a bad crack in it. The reason I took it anyway was because of how clear the rest of the board was. That bad crack right now. So that's going to be a short one. So we're going to cut it something longer than 33.5. Way longer. We're just cutting it to get a clean edge. I'm going to get this knot out too. I'm going to cut these just a little fat, and we'll do a little bit of shaving and stuff to get these things to sit in there just the way we want. But before I do, I want to round over everything. Alright guys, so what I'm doing now, I'm changing this bit out. This is the bit that I did the trim with, that I said was a round over. It's actually not. I wasn't paying attention. This is actually a beading bit. So, my mistake, sorry. I'm going to show you what I missed that I shouldn't have missed in the last video. This is a round over bit right here. This is a beading bit. If you notice the size of this bearing as compared to the size of this bearing is the same size as the cutter right here. This one is smaller. So the beading bit, that bearing leaves the detail on that edge. Round over does not. I'm going to take the 1/2 inch for a ride and see what that does. Alright, so I like this, I like that better, but on the second side there's not enough there for the bearing and it's eating in, so we're going to rig something up. Alright, we're going to make sure she's not hitting. And it doesn't look like she is. Let's try turning her on. Alright, let's get that board clamped down and we are going to town. So, as you can see, slightly big. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, I want to get this thing kind of secured in where it's not going to move on me. So I'm going to pop a couple of brads into it just to help secure it. Alright guys, so this is the center of the double window here. My original plan was to take a piece of this trim that I made and cover this up, but that doesn't look good. So what was on there originally was this flat trim that was just enough to cover it up. And honestly, that actually looks quite a bit better. It lays back down in there. So I beat this one up too much, taking it off. It's got a lot of dings in it and stuff. So I got to go to the store and pick up the cove trim to go in here anyway, all the way around. So I'll pick up a piece of that when I go. So I'll pick up the cove. The cove will go in here to hide the ugly. And we'll be good to go. So I'm going to wrap the rest of this up without the camera so it goes faster. Alright guys, so it's in. It's not dead on perfect, but it's in. She got a windowsill. As you can see, there is stuff on it. So I put quarter round in there to cover up the ugly. They had a stop in there, and I put this mullion in the middle. Looks much more better. So the windows, they be trimmed. There's the other window. Same sort of thing. And the doors are trimmed. I'll try to keep all the trash, try to keep all the mess out of the frame. Yeah? What do y'all think? And then the other door. Now, this is a Dutch door. Alrighty. So, door. Dutch door. So, this was tricky, but I pulled it off the first time, turned out real nice. Second time went a whole lot easier, having done it before. But I don't put a knob on the inside, typically. I just put one on the outside. So if you want to open it, open the top leaf, you know, you just pull it open like I just did. So, but these are kind of cool to have. I've never priced them. I'm sure they're insanely expensive, but you can do this. This is a $30 door from just the slab from Lowe's or Home Depot, whichever, from one of the big box stores. And then these old knockdown frames are kind of ragged. I have to adjust them every so often, so that's why this gap's not even. It was even when I put it in, but these things they're kind of crappy. So probably if I'm going to do this on the next one, what I'll probably do is rip out that knockdown frame and actually frame it up proper, and then just rehang the door. But being as lazy as I am, it's easier for me to come up here with a hammer and beat this thing straight once in a while so that it works properly. Or run some longer screws through the hinges to suck this hinge jam back and make this thing line back up again. It's usually how I do it. But these things are pretty nifty. And you got a little shelf right here. We're supposed to have painted these a long time ago, but well, we're lazy. So yeah, anyway, that's a quick shot of the Dutch door. Sooner or later I'll get around to doing it. I'm not making any promises for when, but when I do, I'll make a video of it. Alright guys, so the molding on the windows and doors is finally done. It's beer time. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.